is the Chrissie Swan Show.
I've got some exciting news.
Chrissie's Clickbait.
Game of Thrones. Oh my God. My boobs are tingling.
I know, your nipples are hard.
Like the... Can't see that. You're making that up. Listen to those strings.
I never got on board with Game of Thrones.
Oh my God,
I missed
Jack.
the full thing.
I think I was going through a strange time in my life because
Right.
I remember that sound was the sound of maybe I'm going to be okay. Maybe there is something to look forward to. And I think it's because I had 3 kids under 3
Right.
and 4 jobs.
And got you through.
Including breakfast radio.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I want to say it was live on a Thursday night.
Yeah, okay. And you would just hang out for
You
it.
couldn't watch it. It was not bingeable like it is now.
No.
You had to wait.
I love that. That's like Housewives for me.
Oh,
you get to wait every week for new
It's
out.
so exciting.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's an important thing to try and get your kids into something they've got to wait for.
Yep.
Because I don't have to wait for anything these days.
No. Instant gratification, always.
Anyway, Game of Thrones is going to be made into a movie.
That's massive.
I feel like going to the cinema now and
Waiting.
just sitting there getting my favourite 4th row from the back middle seat.
My Swan, it's in the early stage of development. You'll be sitting at that cinema for 7 years.
Never get there too early, Jay. You can never show your support. I want to crowdfund this thing. I don't know what episode the Red Wedding is or what series. I think it's early on. Please promise me before we part ways, so in the next 20 years,
Yeah, okay. That I watched that.
that you must watch up until that moment.
Is it that?
You will never forget it.
It's the real hectic. Yeah, I've heard about it.
It was so shocking.
I just don't think it's for me, Game of Thrones. But anyway.
Yeah, look, it might not be. It might not be. It's got some big words. Now let's move on to a non-celebrity clickbait. Aussie divides with brutal message over revolting act.
Oh.
I mean, I'm there because I've seen the top of a bin. And we are your one-stop shop for bin content.
We love bin chat.
We don't like it when people get angry when you put your rubbish in their bin.
And I mean, you are a dumpster diver yourself.
I sure am. Oh my God, I meant to tell you, I was talking to Sarah, our boss. Dear listener, imagine this. The madness of me talking to my boss, one of the most important people in this company. She calls me. She called me. And I said, sorry, I can't talk now.
Why? Don't say because you were dumpster diving. Oh, that's a new low for you. That's a new low.
Excuse me. I said, I'm pushing a mid-century bed frame into my boot all on my own. Can you imagine how hard that was? And I got an injury.
Why are
I
you
took
pushing?
a chunk out of my...
Was that from hard rubbish?
Yes.
Well, that serves you right. That is the world. Yeah, that's the universe saying stop getting people's from their nature strip and putting it into your house. You're never going to do anything with it. And also take Sarah's call.
I did.
Priorities, man.
I did take it.
Okay,
And I
sorry,
just
back to
told
the
her
story.
that I was busy. I was busy and I'd call her back, and I did.
Booked and busy.
Anyway, I drove home with my face right up against the windscreen because the bed was behind my head. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
How about this? A fed-up homeowner in Perth has laid down the ground rules with dumpster divers looking to cash in on recyclable cans. Because in WA and SA, you get cash for your cans.
Oh, is it like the 5 or 10 cents?
Yes.
Yeah, right, okay.
And she wrote very, very simply on the top of her wheelie bin, and I don't want to cause offence to anybody in Perth, but I am going to do quite a strong accent here.
Please.
She wrote, in Sharpie, 10-cent warriors, F off. All cans and bottles have been recycled and I have been off the piss.
The Chrissie Swan Show. The Chrissie Swan Show.
If you're anything like us, you're still basking in the afterglow of Coldplay. And if you're lucky enough to have tickets for the next shows, have the best time.
Chrissie's Clickbait.
Oh, yes. Ed Sheeran. Can I confess? I love Ed Sheeran. Who doesn't? I mean, it's not possible not to like him.
No, especially in these corridors, Swanee. He's the god of Nova.
He's the god of Nova, but he seems like a thoroughly decent man.
He does.
And I obviously know all the words to all his songs. I've never had to actually stream his music because I get 6 or 7 songs a day because I only listen to Nova.
Yes.
I did not enjoy the names of his last 4 albums. I did not like it. The plus, minus.
Subtract.
They just didn't identify the songs in it. I don't know where Shape of You is. Is that in Subtract? Is it on... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really fantastic point. You're right.
Whereas, like, we know Don't Panic is on Parachutes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You just sort of know. You put the songs...
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Stupid Girls by Pink. It's on I'm Not Dead.
You're fine. We're going to talk about Shawn Mendes later. Anyway, he has said that all along that series of plus and minus and mathematical symbols was written on his body. He's got tattoos of those things. And then he used them on the albums. He has said the next series of albums, the next theme... are currently hidden Animalia style. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I loved
Do you
that
remember that
book.
picture book?
I loved it.
Oh, my God. Looking back now, I know that was just my mum wanting to get rid of me.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
If you give a kid Animalia, you will not see or hear from them for 2 hours. They're just in the corner looking for the cheetah or looking for the jaguar.
Yeah,
looking
okay,
for
sorry.
the palm tree,
The
looking
equivalent
for the toucan.
Of an iPad back then.
Exactly. Anyway, it's somewhere on his body, and we're going to have a crack at deciphering this code. But first, we're going to hear what he has to say.
So I got plus, multiply, divide, and subtract tattooed around my wrist. Equals came in there a bit later, but the next symbols have been on my arm for 13 years as well, and I start that series next year. I guess that's kind of prison break of me, isn't it? Just clues.
It is. Now, I've got a few ideas. I can
Shoot.
see a picture of a big lion head and a picture of a shark. So maybe it's after iconic movies. Maybe there's one going to be called The Lion King. There's one going to be called Jaws. Maybe that's the theme.
Yeah. He's also got photo frames on his back. Maybe he's going to name the albums after different photography brands like Kodak, Canon.
Kodak sounds cooler than Canon.
I know, I liked Kodak.
What else have we got here? Oh, I know. There's a few mentions of sauces here.
Yeah.
Heinz ketchup, etc. Maybe it's a series based on condiments. Mustard, aioli,
Salt.
chimichurri. Oh, salt.
Salt's a cool name.
Salt, pepper. I feel like that's been done before.
Anyway, I like this little tidbit Ed's given us.
I do too. There's a koala. Maybe it's animals. Koala, kiwi. There's a kiwi there, New Zealand. There's a gecko.
Nah, animals feels a bit snore. It's a bit kiddie.
God, I could really play this
I know,
game
so we've got to
forever.
move on.
Let's move on to Shawn Mendes. He revealed in a very long and laboured monologue to a live show at Colorado's Red Rocks that he still doesn't really know where he stands with his sexuality, and nor should he, and he's still working it out. Basically, he said, I was busy at 15 when everyone else was sorting it out. I was busy being a global superstar. And I'm trying to sort it out now. I kept on saying to you, isn't he going out with Camila Cabello? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just wanted to know that she was across his fluid sexuality.
Because being with someone in a heterosexual couple, for him to go on stage and say that, I can't imagine they would be together. Like, it's just not something I think she would want.
Well, that's very old-fashioned of you, because what's to say that she is not as equally progressive?
True.
Do you know what I mean? If she's the same and she understands what that is.
Yeah, maybe she'd be down with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people these days, a lot of young people have been raised with that sort of tolerance and understanding. It's no big deal. It's nothing they have to get their head around, I don't think. But he sat down for an interview, and I always forget the specific magazine. This one's New York Times. And he said that, journo says, almost unprompted, Sean talks at length about Cabello, whom he dated for several years. Past tense. He says, I'm learning about love with her. If anything went wrong with my family, she would be the first person I would call.
So they're still like best mates then?
Well, I just love that because friendship is the real superpower there.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's the best ship, Swanee.
You're my friend. You have the most beautiful weekend.
Thank you, I shall. And you as well. Have the best birthday. Enjoy actually eating at a restaurant, Chrissie Swan.
I cannot believe it.
At your house.
And I am making my triple layer coconut cake for myself. Would you like me to bring some in? Tom, would you like some? Oh, wake up.
Jesus Christ. Hey, also...
See you at the races.
Oh, yes. All right. I check. See you Monday.
Now check this out.
The Chrissie Swan Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.